In this recording, I'm going to talk to you about sizing your images for printing in the DSB. So I have an image here that I shot myself that I opened up in Photoshop. To see how big it is, I'm going to go to the top of the screen where it says Image, and I'm going to choose Image Size. Once I'm here, I can see how big the image is in terms of width and height, as well as resolution. Right now, this image is about 12 by 18 inches. And I could change the measurement if I wanted to from the drop-down menu. And the resolution is 300. We recommend that you have your images in the resolution somewhere between 240 pixels per inch and 360 pixels per inch at the size you want to print them, if you want a nice photo quality image. Now in this case, this is just fine. Now I have to decide how big I want my image to be to print on the size paper that I'm going to be using. The DSB has 8.5 by 11 paper as well as other sizes, but I think with this one I will size it to fit on 8.5 by 11 paper. So you can see it's too big right now. I recommend sizing your images to be about an inch smaller than the paper. That way you have a 1/2 inch margin all the way around your image. So there's a space for you to pin it to the critique board or space for you to hold so that you don't have to put fingerprints actually on your image. So I'm going to change my height to 10, which is an inch smaller than 11. And you can see that the width changed proportionally because they are linked here. I don't need to worry about changing the width to 7.5 because it proportionally changed when I changed the height to 10. So I will have a little bigger margin on the side, but that's okay. So I've sized that image and now I'm ready to print it. Now maybe instead of shooting your own image, maybe you took an image from the internet. So I have an image here from the internet, and let's look at the image size of that. So I'm going to go to Image, Image Size, and here you can see it's a much smaller image. The resolution is only 96, and the width and height is about 4 by 6. Now, the lowest resolution I recommend you printing at is 240 pixels per inch. Now I can go ahead and change that. So I can resample the image or add pixels that weren't originally there. And I can do the same thing when I change the size. I can almost double the size and make this 10 by 6. And I can click OK. And I'm going to hit Command 0 so it fits on the screen. But you can see that that's a really low resolution picture. I can tell that it's pixelated. So I'm going to undo what I just did by hitting Command Z on my keyboard. And I can zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. Now I'm going to try this again. I'm going to go to Image, Image Size. Instead of resampling my image where Photoshop is adding pixels that weren't there before, I can shut off resample by just unclicking resample. Now you see when I did that, the width, height, and resolution all became linked together. That means when I change one, it will affect how the others look. So if I change my resolution now to 240 one more time, you can see that the width and height got much smaller. That's because Photoshop is not resampling your image. It's not adding or subtracting any pixels. Instead, Photoshop is actually squishing those pixels closer together. And because the pixels are getting closer together, the width and height is becoming less. So at a high quality printable image at a resolution of 240, it's only going to be 2.3 by 1.5 inches. So that's going to be too small to print with a really high resolution. And maybe that's okay. So if you wanted to print it anyway and you wanted it to be larger, at this point I could re-click resample again and I could change my height back to 10 and I will have that, that pixelated image again. So you want to keep in mind how big your images are that you're taking from the internet. So I grabbed another image from the internet, which is a higher resolution. So I can go to Image, Image Size, and it's a much higher. It's 12 by 8, but the resolution is still 96. So to see how big I could print this image, I'm going to uncheck Resample, change my resolution to the lowest printable resolution I suggest, which is 240, and then it's 5 by 3, which is a bigger image, a higher resolution image. So that's good. Now, if I wanted to force it to be bigger, if I wanted Photoshop to add more pixels, I can re-click Resample And I could change my height. Well, this is horizontal, so I'm going to change my width this time to 10. And click OK and Command 0 so it fits on the screen. And there's my printable image. So I hope you've enjoyed this video.